So when I started this out, all I'm doing is trying to sit there and start with the basic shapes. Like this shape right here is kind of just a weird shape. I, when you're always looking at like a pumpkin patch or something and you've seen these weird shapes, pumpkins that like grew around things, those are the ones I like to draw because they just you could do some weird fun lines and just shapes with them. So I'm just kind of going through here, just roughing it out. I got a tall one in there. Maybe the stem comes down all the way. Just trying to think about, like, well, what do I want it to look like? Just kind of doing lightly sketching it in there. Not going into any detail just yet. We got this little tiny pumpkin down here. He's, a big, small shape. Nothing too fancy with it. This one's just your typical regular pumpkin that you find at every store. But we're gonna make that one look cool by doing something completely different inside of it. Maybe the stem jumps out. I'm not sure what I'm doing now. Oh, I was adding one to the back. Trying to sit there and get maybe one like hiding way back there that just an outcast. Doesn't have anything to do with it. Once again, still just focusing just solely on weird shapes and normal size shapes. No detail, just kind of making sure it stays in the center of the page, and I'm starting in on the eyes, just a couple triangles for eyes. That one's got like a long face, which looks kind of weird, especially when I was drawing. I was like, oh, putting a long, like, happy face on there. Got the small, tiny one. I was thinking doing more of like rounded. I did like some rounded eyes here and just a couple circles, half circles. Just focusing just solely on building it out to see what it's going to look like. Try not to get into all the detail because that stuff will come later. Here's that one normal pumpkin. So I was like, I gave it different eyes. I mean, especially when you're carving pumpkins, you sit there and you always have the weirdest faces on them. You don't want them to be normal. Just kind of slowly just building up just to see what it's going to look like. Not drawing very heavy with my lines. Then here's the fun shape that's coming up. Got finish the one in the back there, but this is the one where you can really just kind of have fun with it. This is when I really like to draw, because you got these weird eyes, like one big huge one, and then it just drops off. This is one of those pumpkins that everybody goes, I'm not going to pay for that thing. That, if you're paying by the pound, well, you can get your money's worth if you think creatively with it. Those are the pumpkins I always go after. And then you just kind of roughing it in. Nothing too fancy at this point. Just kind of focusing solely on the shapes. Just trying to make sure it kind of fits within the shape, and starting to kind of see a face. And yeah, I mean, you can put a little cylinder in his mouth for, like a candle. Still haven't gone crazy with anything. It's just slow and steady, kind of working the shapes and not trying to draw too heavy, so I have to erase a lot. But yeah, I mean, it's just hopefully you start to see the pumpkins kind of come together and you get this really good idea that it's centered in the middle of the page because I drew the shapes first and then filled them in so I know exactly where it was going. Then just slowly kind of building up. This one's got a little tweaker. Those little curly Q things that always just end up. Some pumpkins have them and some don't. The stems are kind of important too. When you're looking for a pumpkin this year, if you could find one that has a really cool stem on it, that it just makes it look that much better when you get it done and carved. Here's that weird-eyed pumpkin. But yeah. Well, I'm probably going to speed the video up so you guys can just see the end process here. But yeah, simple little pumpkins. Got like 5 of them in there. Probably do a little video on coloring it in later. Well, enjoy.